everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Field Between. My name is Ahmed.
I'm Yasmin.
What do we got on deck for today?
How are we doing, Ahmed?
I am good. Just got back from Erie, Pennsylvania. I was driving some friends there, so I ended up staying an unexpected night in Erie.
Little last minute trip on the road.
Yeah, you got to speak up.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. And that was before that we were in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, surprisingly cute. I was shocked.
Yeah, we liked it.
My hatred for Cleveland was so strong, I just assumed all of Ohio was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And as a adopted Western Pennsylvanian, I also just hear a lot of anti-Ohio rhetoric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we only really went downtown in this neighborhood adjacent to downtown. And from what we've heard, the rest of it is a little more spread out. But what we saw was super cute, very dense, very walkable.
It was very nice. And the public park was pretty well designed, it seemed like. We don't really know the nuances of whatever the city politics were or whatever. And the area that we were in was, people have the same critiques of it that they have of every neighborhood, is that it was, recently gentrified and who knows? I'm not really sure of the nuances, but objectively, the neighborhood was, seemed pretty good. Had a lot of little cafes, had a lot of bakeries, some good restaurants. The alleyways were strikingly and notably clean.
They did a great job lighting them and kind of making the most sort of fun spots to walk through. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice to be able to walk through and take little shortcuts through the alleyway because I guess whatever their municipal ordinance or zoning laws are make it so that most alleyways don't have trash cans or dumpsters in them. And they're actually quite inviting, like even late at night.
Yeah, no, you're right. I haven't seen a lot of cities like that, honestly. It was really interesting.
Nah, me neither.
Yeah. It's just interesting also being in this part of the country and realizing, I think Cincinnati is also part of the Rust Belt, right? Yeah. I think everywhere that steel was prominent and these industries that industrialized cities were prominent is part of the Rust Belt, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just interesting because I guess my only intro to how important steel was in forming a city has been Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. So to see the imprints of steel all over Cincinnati were also really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were there for my sister's getting married in October, which is so exciting. And this was kind of a pre-wedding celebration with her fiance side of the family. So that was fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had a shrimp boil.
Yep. That was a good time.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Good times in Ohio.
And before that, my aunt and uncle were visiting, which is fun. So it's been a lot of partying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been hosting and going
traveling
out of town a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
This month's busy month.
Mm-hmm. Though I think we're now here for the rest of the month.
Yeah, we have a wedding next weekend.
But it's in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
And then it's your birthday after that.
Yes. I'm going to be 33.
Yep.
Crazy.
Old lady.
And I'm back at school next week. So this week I'm all getting ready for that.
Yeah.
I was on campus today and all the students are back. It's so it's like a switch. It's crazy. The energy is so different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's so quiet in the summer. It's just so funny seeing them everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's also fun. I love that about universities. I love the kind of sense of new beginnings every semester.
When is FDoc?
FDoc, for those who are not in the know, is an acronym for first day of class. I don't know when that started. It's been a thing since I've been teaching, but we didn't say FDoc when I was a kid.
Yeah, we did.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
FDoc, LDoc.
Interesting. Maybe, yeah, I didn't.
People have been saying that for a long time.
We definitely didn't at Wisconsin. And I know not everyone.
The times.
What'd you say?
I said we were saying that in North Carolina.
Wow. Yeah. You were ahead of the curve. FDoc is August 27th, whatever next Monday is. 27th, 26th, I forget. But my first day of teaching is next Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So getting ready.
Great.
Getting all the emails.
Okay. What else?
I think that's all in terms of personal updates. Am I forgetting anything?
I can give a quick update on Erie.
Yes, tell us about Erie.
It really sucked. There's one place called the Federal Smokehouse.
Uh-huh.
decent barbecue
Okay.
or brisket. Boy, we went and I actually have been meaning to show you this. Get your reaction in real time.
Okay.
So, okay, it was just like in the 24 hours that I was there, just a bunch of weird, eerie stories. Mostly around, it seems like time just ceases to exist as a concept once you enter the municipal borders of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Wow, it's a bold claim. Okay.
So there was like a couple of occasions when, last night, I think it coincides with like as the sun sets, the fabric of what you consider to be reality, the basic fundamental building blocks, one of them being time, just slowly unravel. And it progresses as the sun gets lower and lower on the horizon. And so we were looking for dinner, and we went to this food hall that was supposed to be open and have multiple places open. There was like someone in there, but they were all closed. So we tried to go to this pizza place that was supposed to be pretty good, and it was just closed at like 7 p.m., even though it said it was not supposed to be closed until 9. And then we venture further into the food hall, and like everything's closed, but there are people in there. And one place, there's a guy. We walk. You kind of also have to be there just to see the layout of this place, but we walk deeper into it. And then there's a guy in a hallway with like some food stalls, and he's just looking at the menu of one of the restaurants that is just closed. And everything's closed. And it just feels like one of those moments when you're just like in a video game and it's just...
You're being set up or something?
No, not you're being set up, but you're just like walking through a video game, and you can tell the game designers just put these things in, but they didn't really
think it through,
program them much beyond that. It's like, oh, we'll just put a guy looking at a menu. And that's
interesting.
it. There's no food coming out. There's no cashier. They just have like a guy in a food court looking.
It was
at
a Monday, right? I mean, a lot of things are closed across the country on Mondays.
No, this place was supposed to be open. It said it was open.
That is so
on
weird.
The door, and it said it was open on Google.
Also, it's like sunny out in the summer.
Open, so we walked in.
You would think that like this would be peak season. Yeah.
Let's see. And then this morning we ended up going to this bagel place because we first went to a coffee shop that was supposed to be the best coffee shop in that part of Pennsylvania. It was very mediocre, but it was their hip coffee shop. And so I asked the people behind the bar, I'm like, where's the best place to get breakfast? And they pointed us again to this food hall that we had gone to the night before. And they said, you have to go to Joe's Bagel Shop, New York Bagel Shop. It's the best. And I was like, okay, great. And so we walked down the street to Joe's.
Oh, no.
And when we walk in, first of all, like as soon as a guy kind of cuts in front of us to walk in, and he's an exterminator, and he immediately just starts spraying around where the food is. Just doesn't say anything, but goes in front of us and immediately just starts spraying in the restaurant, chemicals, whatever. And you're just like, are there pesticide or like are there pests here that we should know about?
Yeah.
Or is this preventative? And also, should we be worried about like the active chemical spray in the area we're about to order food from? But no one mentioned anything about it. But here's one of their signature bagels.
I feel like this is about to be a crime against New York.
What do you think?
The bagel looks bad, but the idea of a dill pickle bagel sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But the bagel looks
I knew you would say that.
weird. Like the bagel doesn't look good, but I'm not against the topping.
It's like a underbaked bagel.
Yeah, it
has
looks
some
very
like a
like
cheese crust on it, almost like an Asiago cheese bagel, and then they just put some wet pickle slices on it and baked it.
Yeah, it looks not ideal. But I've heard like that and I could see this. I've heard that like pickle pizza is really good. And so I could see like a pickle bagel conceivably living on the same plane. But that bagel
You just lost any right to
looked
critique any sort of bagel ever.
No, I maintain that that bagel looked structurally bad, but not because of the pickle, but because of the bagel itself was underbaked.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm guessing you didn't get anything.
No, I got an egg and cheese bagel.
How was it?
Horrible. It was really bad.
I guess now that I'm thinking about it, probably the main reason people go to this town is to like swim in the lake or like be on the lake. And you're also not really a water person. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We also saw this boat called Dixie. And it has an American flag on it, on the mast. And the American flag looks like it had been burnt.
Oh, hate crime.
Yeah, it was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's about it.
Sounds like a rough place, but you had fun still with our
We went to
friends,
this
right?
hippie store, and it had this cool ass art of this panda smoking a hookah and
That's a
blowing
lot.
a rainbow cloud into the air.
You kept on sending me photos though of like cute little glass things. That was cute.
There was a cool glass, hand blown glass store there that we found today, and then it seems like they have a cool art museum, but it's closed on Mondays. So,
But you had fun with our friends, right?
Had fun with Lily and Ahmed.
That's
it was a
good.
good time. Yeah.
Nice. Well, sounds like not a place to revisit, a one-time trip for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
That's fair. There's a lot of other places to see. No need to repeat something that wasn't your cup of tea.
Yeah, it was very psychically damaging.
Yeah. It sounds almost kind of like, what's that guy that you love? Who's the guy?
Barack Obama.
No. I can't believe I'm blanking on this. The guy that you love, the scary guy.
Lovecraft.
Yeah. It sounds kind of Lovecraftian.
It feels that way.
How is Moby Dick going?
Moby Dick is good. I'm like halfway through Moby Dick.
It's long.
It's a long book.
Yeah.
Where am I in it now? They just talked to crew members of another ship that had a mutiny. So you got to hear the story of that mutiny, or attempted mutiny, rather. And they were talking about the white whale. Captain Ahab, the Pequod, the ship that the main character is on, has yet to encounter Moby Dick, but I think it's happening soon.
It's about to go down.
Yeah, it's good. I learned, I watched a 20-minute video of about sperm whales.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Just to understand more context.
Yeah. I was interested.
It's creating branch off interest. That's awesome.
They're crazy. They have like, in their heads, they have like this massive organ, that just has oil in it. So that's why they were hunted, is because sperm whales have this oil that's like really good for burning lamps. And I think that's also referred to as ambergris, or maybe that's also in the same gland or organ or whatever. But something that's unique about sperm whales is that they're able to really dive very deep into the ocean, and sometimes like we don't even really know exactly how deep they go because they go so deep. And then the other thing is that they have very complex language. So their clicks and their sounds and whatever are super complex, and they can also be heard from like miles and miles away. And they think that they also use that organ with all the oil in it to make some of that noise.
Ooh.
Yeah, or like to amplify it.
In general, I don't know about sperm whales, but the noises that whales make are so cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is true, but the video that I watched said that the decibel range of that the sounds could potentially reach could actually kill a human being. Like if you're in the water next to it, it is so loud that it would just like rupture your organs.
Wow. I heard when my family and I were on vacation in Hawaii, I think it was my dad and I were underwater and we heard the sound of whales.
Yeah.
It was so cool. It felt like otherworldly.
Yeah.
It was kind of creepy, but cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sperm whales also have the biggest brain
Of the whales.
of any mammal. I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And of any whale. Yeah. So that's why people think that they have like much more complex language and things like that. And when they were hunted, based on observation, some people were theorizing that they had actually communicated with one another about what the hunters' tactics were so that they could then avoid being hunted in those ways.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the orcas now flipping over boats.
But anyway, the other thing, so they dive very, very deep to go get squid and like cuttlefish and all this shit that they eat. And they're like, how do they actually dive that deep? Because they have to come up for air, and then they have to be able to go down. So with all that air in their bodies, they have to be able to go down deep without floating back up, right? Because if you have all that air, you're gonna be buoyant. And so I think that sack of oil at the front of their heads helps them dive down.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's a weird animal. Seems like especially evolved for that specific thing.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, Moby Dick is good. Yeah,
It's inspiring all sorts of learning. I love that.
Yeah.
Very nice. I think that's all I got for updates.
Okay, so we're talking about King of the Hill revival.
Yes, I wanted to give a little overview about what King of the Hill is. I think we've actually talked about it before in reference to John Redcorn, one character specifically.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it a couple times on the show. I grew up on The Simpsons. The other thing that was on during that block was King of the Hill, so I also grew up watching King of the Hill. And
yeah.
It's just a really great, thoughtful adult animation.
Yeah, so it's an animated series set in Texas in an imaginary city. It ran from 1997 to 2009. So I guess it started when you were like 6.
It started when we came to the U.S., and I probably
so exactly that age then, yeah.
Like, let's see, I probably started watching it when I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah. And it features Hank Hill, who's a propane salesman, and his wife Peggy, who's a substitute teacher. And they've got a son named Bobby, and Hank has all these like buddies. I also really enjoyed the show. I did not grow up watching it at all. I started watching it. Both you and my old roommate were really into it. You both also love The Simpsons, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, they're both shows about different American families. And this is specifically like a Southern American family. Yeah. And I think the charm of King of the Hill is that it just kind of leaned into stereotypes, and the show didn't have any sort of political agenda other than to show funny moments from the dynamics of like family and like outside politics. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a conservative family, but again, it's not like the show itself was not setting out to be like, look at this conservative family, or like, look at these great conservative values or whatever. Or trying to be like, look at these crazy liberals or whatever. It's just like, oh, this is how this family sees the world, and moments can come out of that.
It's actually very gentle, which I appreciate. Like, I feel like it's showing, it definitely makes fun of like little idiosyncrasies in Texas and like more generally in the American South, but there's moments of real insight, and it's also kind of like an America beyond like contemporary keyboard politics. It's like very kind of blue collar working class family.
Yeah.
And you see some generational differences, but there's a lot of like tenderness, I think, which is why it's really appealing. Like even Hank is just kind of trying to contend with the world as it changes. And you get that kind of feeling that he's like basically a decent man, but that he just kind of sees the world through a really specific lens. And so it's kind of tricky when like he can't connect with his son, and like, he's
trying to just do the best he can and be
and he's someone who like really believes in like the American dream.
Yeah.
And like wants life to match up with that. So it can be kind of surprisingly profound. I think it's also interesting that you and my roommate really love this show, because I think you also grew up. He's from Texas actually, but you both grew up in like non-urban American South. So I think there's that too.
Yeah. But the show was just revived by Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
I think it ran for 13 seasons. Is this the 14th or is this the 13th that they just revived it for?
97 to 2009, so that's what, 13?
I mean, that's 12, but you could have had 13 seasons in 12 years theoretically. Anyway, so something like that. And the revived show takes place years after the show ended.
Right. So it's sped up to get to our contemporary moment.
Yeah. So I guess what are your initial thoughts on episode 1 of the new season?
1 second. Sorry. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about the original run of the show. Never mind. I liked it. I didn't like. I think that they had to kind of do like a fine balancing act between like getting these characters up into our present day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like instantaneous. But I thought it was funny and thoughtful, and kind of the more I watched, the more I kind of found it believable that the characters would react to our current day in this way.
Yeah.
So Hank and his wife Peggy have just come back from Saudi Arabia, where they, because of like Hank being in the oil industry, they were working there for a number of years. Definitely not something I expected. It was really funny seeing like Peggy in like hijab at one point as they're doing like flashbacks to Saudi. But I thought I kind of, in keeping with the original show, I thought it was like kind of a funny critique also of like Americans abroad trying to find like basically sort of Disney-fying their lives in places like Saudi and kind of living on compounds and creating little mini American states. I've never been to Saudi, but I have had some family members who grew up there and spent time there, and definitely, especially like pre-MBS, compound life definitely seems like kind of a recreation of their home states, but an idealized creation, and one where like you get to be kind of wealthy.
Yeah.
Obviously that's not everyone's experience. A lot of people are like in terrible domestic labor conditions in Saudi, but if you are there for something that is more like white collar.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was on an Aramco oil base, and like you said, they're coming back to Arlington, Texas after several years of being gone. And I do think that I have several issues with this first episode. One is that the jokes that they make were kind of felt like they I don't know. Like it kind of felt like hack jokes that feel like it's from a writer's room that's like, oh, we finally have representation and we're going to do identity here. Like they didn't have anything clever about it. It's like, oh, Peggy mispronounces words even after being in Saudi Arabia for forever. Like she couldn't even say assalamu alaikum or whatever. Like to her, of course, she has an Arab Uber driver in Texas. So I'm just like, that doesn't seem clever. And I think the other jokes feel like they're just about how times have changed and how their town in Texas has changed. And that also just doesn't feel that clever, because it just feels like, oh, I'm an old guy who's frozen in time and like everything's changing and people are woke and like technology is crazy. But I'm like, time didn't stop when he was in Saudi Arabia.
That's true. I had that thought also. Like, surely there is boba in Saudi Arabia.
And they had Uber.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they might have had drivers. But did you not find the critique of like compound life specifically resonant at all? I thought that was actually pretty funny. Like, it was more America there than there was here, kind of like thought.
I felt like it was a little lost in the very muddled plot, which was not really there. Like, I think, and to be fair, it was
an establishing kind of episode.
They're establishing, but the really fun part of King of the Hill and The Simpsons of the past is that you know the characters, right? Like, they did a really good job establishing the characters, and so every episode was just like a very tight plot. You had like an A plot, B plot. And this is like everyone had their own plot and everyone needed to be developed as a character. You needed to reintroduce everyone. Like, and you needed to do all this exposition and backstory stuff. And it just kind of got really messy. And I prefer they would have really winnow it down. Like they didn't need to.
I know you were like sad as soon as you heard about the revival. You were like, they shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
They should have left it frozen in time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree. I mean, to be fair, you're definitely like more of a fan of the show than I am. You've probably seen. Have you seen all of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like I've enjoyed watching episodes here and there, but I definitely can't say I've like seen every episode or every season.
Yeah.
But I feel like the characters to me felt true to form. And I think the whole point of like the show, the original show, was like commentary on everyday life and like little parts of everyday life. And I felt like this was still kind of resonant with that. And even like the fact that Bobby didn't go to college and he owns a fusion restaurant, you can see kind of like the influence of like his childhood and always kind of wanting to break out of the mold. But it seems like he's kind of still struggling financially. I don't know. A lot of it just seemed kind of like good continuity to me. I do think a little bit of the like, kids are so woke these days. But I also feel like that character probably would react that way. And one thing I like about that character is he's not like mean. So he's not like racist or like upset that his cab driver is Arab or anything. But he is like confused by changing conventions. So yeah, I didn't think it was too heavy-handed in that regard.
Yeah. I feel like it crossed the line of a lot of these other adult animations that have come out on like specifically Netflix in the last couple of years, like BoJack Horseman and what are some of the other ones?
Big Mouth, was that what it was called? The one that was about like sex ed. That was pretty good for the first season, few seasons, and then I got tired of it.
But like I guess let's take BoJack Horseman as a typical example. It's like it almost feels.
I actually haven't seen that, but
yeah, it feels like what was happening in the stories of this episode of The King of the Hill were the writers trying to work out their own shit and like comment on society and all this stuff through the characters and let you know that they know rather than write what is true to the characters.
Yeah, I guess we really should see more to kind of to gauge, because to me I was sort of like, I think I suspended disbelief a little bit knowing that they were trying to bridge that difference between this new show and the old show in one episode. I think another thing they handled pretty well was COVID. Just this kind of idea that like one of the neighbors that the main character is really close to became like a recluse and won't leave his house and like the stigma around masking, which obviously is a thing in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like we had kind of opposite takes.
Yeah. At the end of the episode, not to jump too far forward, we can skip around. But at the end of the episode, what is it? He goes to Megalomart, which is like their Walmart. Actually, and I remember one thing that I picked up on that I thought was a slightly clever thing, but the illustrators did, is that the Megalomart logo, the font on it is all lowercase, which is something that Walmart did as a rebrand.
Oh, clever. I didn't catch that.
Where Walmart used to just be this big, bold, all caps Walmart written out. And then sometime later, they changed their branding so that everything was just lowercase sans serif font to make it look more consumer friendly. But with that came kind of this just age of unbranding everything. And not changing the underlying supply chain or production processes that are polluting the world, but they just branded to look more green and climate and consumer friendly and all that stuff. But so the Megalomart had all lowercase, and I was like, oh, that's smart. Someone is really making a lot of noise outside. It's so annoying. These are the worst people in the world.
I'm so glad the filming is over, though. We're gonna finally sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick aside, we told y'all that they were filming a movie outside of our house, which was very cool the first 3 nights, but then very tiring because they were filming from like 9:30 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. Yeah. So hyped to sleep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think also with that like Walmart scene or like their stand-in for Walmart, it was that actually is a lot of places that I think that like where people run into each other. Like in some communities, like that is like the only like major grocery store, and that's where you like see people. I did think it was like a little overdone when he was buying the Girl Scout cookies and they were like, oh, we don't call them Samoas anymore. We call them like, that was a little like,
Yeah, the
All
whole
right,
episode
I
is,
get
like,
it.
setting up like, oh, I don't understand apps. Oh, I don't understand like what my son is doing.
That I
Right?
believe, but yeah.
Peggy doesn't know what a butt dial is. Like her son accidentally butt dials her like
Well,
in the
she
middle of
just
the
didn't
night.
want to know, I don't think.
Um, and like, yeah, there's just all this stuff that, again, they're just clueless to and have never heard of because they were in Saudi Arabia, which is apparently in another dimension. And then at the end, he's just, the Girl Scout's like, yeah, we call them, what are they called?
Like, I forget, like caramel
Caramel
discs or
Delight.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
delights.
And then he's just like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's good to be nice.
Yeah, that was a little
He just
trait.
accepts it, and then he's handing out cookies to people outside of the thing, and again, that was like a moment that I'm just like, this is the writers telling you that they're good people, and also being a little condescending toward someone who's just like, I grew up calling these Samoans, and
Right.
I don't harbor any actual resentment toward people or whatever.
From Samoa. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Kind of returning to your point about Saudi, I feel like kind of a both end. I agree with you that there is a little bit of like an idea that like I hadn't really thought about it this way, but I think you're right. Like time kept on going in the US, but somehow was frozen in Saudi. Like, of course, they would have been exposed to a lot of these things in Saudi. Having said that, when people are really into compound life, they just like don't necessarily have to like do a whole lot for themselves. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And they kind of implied that they had like servants and drivers and all that. So, yeah, I think, again, sort of a both end.
Yeah, but Saudi still has technology.
For
Like,
sure. No, 100%. Yeah.
Like, yeah. And also he's probably getting paid like $400,000 a year, no tax. He's working on, he's no longer just a middle class guy. He's
Right.
like a rich 1%er now. If we
I don't know about
believe-
1% if it's 400,000, but yeah, definitely
Yeah.
like not 1% of Americans, 400,000. Like there are millionaires in this country, but yeah, certainly not blue collar for sure.
You're 1% if you make more than like 400,000, 450.
I guess. I always think of like when we say the phrase like 1%, we're talking about like billionaires and millionaires.
Billionaires are like 0.1%.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that's just a little weird to me.
What is weird that he makes more money?
Actually, yeah, that he makes more money, but also that again, the concept of time just standing still in Saudi Arabia. I also saw that Maz Jobrani was one of the voices on this episode. I wonder if he's in the writer's room because or maybe if he was in the writer's room for this episode, because a lot of the moments where they're interacting with other Arabs or like the, Muslim cab driver or whatever, just like stunk of Maz Jobrani's brand of comedy. And
Who is this guy? You
sorry,
seem to
but
hate him.
I hate Maz Jobrani.
Who is he? I don't know anything
He's
about
just
him.
like an Iranian American comedian.
What's
and
he written for that I would know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, he was on the Axis of Evil comedy tour.
Yeah, that was very much of its time.
That was of its time, but I feel like he's also just kind of stuck in that time, and his shtick is, oh, we're like actually really like goofy, and we love cats and all this. And I was just like, it's such hack shit. Like I really don't.
Such
like
a hater. He's not credited as a writer on this, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. The whole like Arab cab driver thing really didn't bother me. The only thing I thought was like, oh, he probably wouldn't be from Saudi. Like, not that many people immigrate from Saudi to the US. Obviously, it's not unheard of, but like, if you're actually from Saudi and have citizenship, like, you often have a lot of wealth and probably are not driving Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I want to mention the animation style. It took me a minute to get used to it. It's just, I don't know how to say, but it doesn't feel like the animation from the old show. Not that they have to capture it, but it just feels too clean, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like the old show, don't know enough about animation to give a good description, but was like a lot more simplistic.
Yeah, it felt more simple.
But I think again, like if you're gonna redo something, I think you sometimes have to break with that to kind
Maybe.
of give it a new context.
Yeah, that's not my biggest gripe, but I remember kind of, I did feel like a little like, oh, but that's just nostalgia.
Peggy looks more different. I was kind of tripping on her specifically. I guess she's changed
older.
her hair and she's supposed to be older, but like,
Skinnier.
yeah,
They made her skinnier and like kind of fit.
yeah, I noticed that too. I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But doesn't Bobby look like exactly what you'd think he would grow up to look like?
Bobby's trajectory makes sense.
Yeah.
I think, Peggy still also makes sense as a character because she's just kind of so self-absorbed and like,
right,
wants
kind of a
everyone to
doofus,
like her sort of thing.
Yeah.
Dale sounds different.
I love that Dale was mayor. I thought that was really funny.
I thought that was a great idea for Dale. I wish they would have done something more with it. Like it just kind of fizzled out, or I don't know. I also feel like I don't know. Is the voice the same? Because he sounds different.
He does
in a
sound a little
weird way.
different. I'm not sure, but I thought like obviously it's like a very obvious reference, but I still thought it was funny to be like, oh, he became an election denier for his own election. Like I thought that was a funny bit.
That rambling bit, had a little bit too much allusion to just like a
Trump and yeah,
all that
I
stuff.
thought it was reasonable to acknowledge. I think that's the other thing I appreciated is no one is like the COVID references were obviously direct with like the masking and stuff and the pandemic. I think they even said the word pandemic at one point, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it's smart that they don't say the word Trump. Like you can't. That kind of breaks the world of the show. So I thought that was like a good allusion to that. That was helpful.
Well, yeah, it exists outside of our world, but
and even like, oh, on the base we only got CNN and Fox. Like the fact that we all have these two like red blue pill options. I thought that was clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, he says, "Oh, we only got CNN and Fox," and I don't know a single old person who's not on Facebook and also doesn't have internet access. So it just isn't believable that he only knows what's going on in CNN and Fox, and he's come back to this world that's had internet and all this discourse and dialogue that's taken place on the internet, and he just isn't aware about any of it.
But I think the larger point there was like, oh, you only get these two kind of extreme polarized takes in American media,
Like Hank Hill, like, not to, again, because this exists outside of our world, but Hank Hill would have probably watched Breitbart or...
Oh, I don't know about that. I feel like he's like a older school Republican.
He certainly watched Fox, but Fox has become pretty much Breitbart.
Yeah. I feel like it's another level to go to Breitbart. It's definitely like a path there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of the show too is that like I would say it is a kind of political show in that like it's about American life, but I guess like the whole point was that he wasn't an explicitly political person, right? But that his world is shaped by politics, and I think that continues to be the case.
But politics that come through from capturing like a little sliver
Of everyday life.
Yeah. And that's where this episode failed, is that it wanted to show you the whole pie. It's like, here's everything that's happening. Here's what millennial life looks like. Here's what boomer life looks like. This guy's been frozen in a cryogenic chamber in Saudi Arabia. Now he's like unfrozen. And this is what QAnon is. And this is like...
What was the QAnon reference?
I mean, it was just Dale Gribble's like kind of
yeah,
like a QAnon.
But he was kind of
conspiracy
like that
theory.
before too. But yeah.
Sure, but now he's speaking the language of QAnon. He's like election denying and like pandemic and all this stuff.
True.
And so it's just dumping everything that the writers have in their heads on you, and that's just bad writing. Instead of just giving like my question also is, will they bring back Cotton Hill?
Which character was that?
That is Hank's dad. The really
he might
racist,
be dead at this point.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll talk about it or if they'll do like a flashback episode with Cotton.
Yeah.
And what that would be like.
I mean, I think it would still play just as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
I don't-
just far gone and kind of racist. That was always his thing.
But will
and married
his
to a
racism
younger
be
woman.
handled by the other characters in a way that feels like the writers are telling the audience, look at this really bad guy? And
I feel like they were already doing that with that character. You weren't meant to be sympathetic to him.
no, but Cotton was just like a fact of life. They weren't like, oh, this, it's hard to explain. Like,
No, I get what
the
you're
writers
saying.
weren't- Yeah.
But I feel like it's giving the old show a little bit too much credit to make it seem as though it had no moralizing agenda whatsoever, or no way that we were supposed to feel towards the characters.
I think it was more concerned with just being funny than it was with moralizing.
I think the writers of the show are like somewhat conservative, right?
I don't know.
Let me check. I'm not making that up, but
Mike Judge, I don't know that he's particularly conservative, but
maybe I'm making that up. Is Mike Judge the creator of the show?
yeah. And I don't know who the writer's room was for the old show, but
Right. Yeah, you are much more savvy about thinking about writers' rooms than I am. I thought I read that somewhere, but I could be totally off.
good silence.
No, you're right. There's not much about his political affiliations either way. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the distinction for me is I feel like the past episodes, the goal was to be funny. This episode, I'm a little skeptical because it feels like the goal was to teach.
I don't feel that way. I get where you're coming from, but I feel like a lot of that is explainable by just having to do the kind of catch up with the characters. I think we'd have to keep watching and see.
Yeah.
But I also kind of wonder why they brought it back. I mean, I know why, probably because I think it'll be popular and lucrative. But it was a kind of perfect time capsule of a moment in time. So it is going to be a tall task.
I mean, I think that's ultimately a really good question is why did they bring it back? Yes, maybe they think they can make money on it, but why did writers attach themselves to it, etc.? What is their goal? I think they
To
feel
sell
like,
TV, baby.
well, no, I think there's like a goal of, in the show, it's kind of showing like an American fabric that has kind of
Falling
frayed
apart.
and fallen apart or whatever, and that there's some sort of good core American values that if we just find those, things will be okay.
I would argue that even the older show basically had that premise, though. There was like a sense of like things are changing and it's scary and like, but that you know your neighbors and like you care for them even though they're different than you, you know?
That's the thing. It's like things are changing. In the past, things are changing.
But now they've changed and it's bad.
But yeah, this is, things are bad.
That's
they have
interesting.
changed into a bad way.
But
and
not all of them. The Samoa cookies have been rebranded and that's good.
some of it's good. Some of the wokeness is good.
Yeah.
Some of the wokeness is tolerable.
Yeah. Or even positive.
But it's not even talking about wokeness, right? Like it's talking about mostly reactionary turn of and like the kind of Ouroboros of American conservatism. But so it's trying to say that the light and the dark is just like this conservative value and belief in American life that doesn't exist anymore, and we have to rescue that.
I don't think the writers are pro-conservative viewpoint, but I think that they are like sympathetically portraying still a conservative character.
My prediction is that this season the theme will be almost like a we're going to get you by your own logic sort of thing, where it's like if you were true conservatives, you would actually believe in this other thing and you would be okay with abortion and you would be okay with socialism because that would actually rescue American values.
You think it'll be that heavy-handed? Maybe.
I think that's going to be the message in some of these episodes.
You never were a big Parks and Recs person, right?
No.
But you know the kind of libertarian character, Ron Swanson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I never thought about it before, but I feel like Hank Hill is kind of similar to him in that it's like a character that's supposed to make us realize that like you can kind of like shake hands with anyone across the aisle type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think about why Hank Hill doesn't bother me in the way that like West Wing trying to show conservatives as good people bothers me. I guess because Hank Hill is not like, he never says like, I'm a libertarian. Do you know what I mean? He just kind of does what he does.
When he's voting for Bush and all
Yeah.
that, he talks about being Republican.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's because Hank Hill doesn't have a...
Maybe it always was Insidious then.
Hank Hill doesn't really have a foreign policy.
Well, he went to Saudi to work on an oil thing, so now I guess he's got a little bit,
But
yeah.
historically, it was just like, oh, I mean, yes, he respects the troops, but he wasn't like, we should go to Iraq, right?
I mean,
like,
he voted for Bush, but yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, that's like abstract conservative values shit. And he doesn't even, like, probably doesn't think that deep, right? He just thinks that America's great.
Right, he doesn't know much about the world, which is true of like a lot of American voters.
And that was honest. That was like an honest thing.
But now he's seen the world and you're saying you don't like it. He's seen one base in Saudi, but...
Well, he's seen it, but I guess not really. So aside from it just being kind of confusing, yeah, that's the thing. It's that they are now... In their attempt to complicate the character, they have made it worse.
It sounds like that's your final stand. I think my final stand is I'm willing to wait and see. But having said that, I don't feel like watching more episodes.
I'll probably watch one or two more just to see how it is.
I might. But I wouldn't mind like watching all of King of the Hill from the front to the end when we finish Mad Men. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like I really like the reflections on the American South. I think they're very like thoughtful and often very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on King of the Hill?
I think that's it, y'all.
Just to tease what's coming up, we did do an interview with an international law attorney. That's coming out next week. It was actually supposed to come out this week, but because of travel and stuff, we just figured we'd do an easier episode, get that out, and then I'll take more time to edit the other one. And then I really want to do an AI episode.
I love that idea. I could prep for that too. That's a great idea.
It's just breaking people's minds.
It really is. I've read some crazy stories.
Yeah, there have been some like nuts episodes about people falling in love with it, using it for therapy.
Thinking that they're solving theorems. Yeah.
Yeah, thinking that they're inventing new concepts in physics.
It's such an age differential too. Everyone I know under 30 is using it as therapy. Like all of my friends. I have a lot of younger friends. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of interesting things going on with that. And
then we also are finishing a book that I'm excited to get back to our roots. Yes, but you will. Yeah. And inshallah, that'll be after you're done with Moby.
Maybe we'll try to put those two books in conversation with one another.
Which two books?
The Mamdani book and Moby Dick.
I don't want to do that. I want to do a deep dive on Mamdani.
Think through good Muslim, bad Muslim. through the lens of Captain Ahab.
That sounds like a very good like
Father Maple
sophomore year paper, but you should do a Moby Dick episode. That'd be awesome. But I want to do just a Mamdani episode. Like we used to do. I think it'll be fun, like really deep dive on a reading.
Yeah, it wasn't a serious suggestion.
I don't know. I thought maybe you wanted to go for it. No, I'm kidding. I didn't think you were serious.
Yeah, so that's what's coming up. This is episode 99.
I know. I'm kind of sad that our 100th will be an interview because I wanted to like reflect a little, but I'll do it on 101.
Okay.
I can't believe we've been doing this for so long. Alhamdulillah. It feels nice to have like a creative project that we like kept going.
Yeah, it's nice. We got 10 listeners.
That's not true. We have like 60 listeners. Some episodes a lot more than that.
No, it's more than 60.
Yeah. Well, 60 regular listeners, I feel like. Some episodes obviously are more. Actually, if you include YouTube, I guess maybe more than 60 on average, yeah.
We have 77 YouTube subscribers.
That's a really random number.
Which for us is big numbers.
That is big, you're right.
So I think we probably are in the realm of like 100 to 200 per episode, all things considered.
Honestly, compared to what we used to be batting, that's really great.
It's pretty good.
We used to be doing like 30 to 40, so that's actually pretty large exponential growth in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when I quit my job. I get 10x results.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But also, even that, like, honestly, the thing, I'll reflect a little now. Why not? Before Ahmed cuts me off. Because you were saying reflection is not good for content, which you're probably right about.
Yeah, it's too much.
But, I'm a very reflective lady. It's also one of the coolest things has been that we've met people through it. Like, that's been really lovely. Like, all the people we've interviewed, it's been so cool to form those connections. Like, there's people I really hope I get to meet in person one day. And it's even like, like friends being like, oh, I listened to this and that. Like, that's been really special.
Yeah. So tell your friends, subscribe on YouTube, email us. We should do like a questions episode or something for our 100th
or our 101st. I would love that. Yeah.
But we never get enough questions.
Make them juicy.
We got to figure out a way to make them anonymous.
I feel like there is a way you can do that on Instagram.
No, I don't know. Maybe.
I've submitted questions to people, so I hope they're anonymous.
Probably not.
None of them were like very bad, but
yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Desert sky.